Hi friends, this is Kalpun Piso. My brain is creating thoughts. Big cut. I'm going to present to you, as I said in all my YouTube videos, the fact, the truth that nobody seems to see. Religious beliefs are a form of mental illness. It's believe in resurrecting somebody that say with blood, gods, demons, angels and all that is actually a form of a schizophrenia. No if or buts. It is a neurology proving fact. Because the brain creates the mind. They are not separate things. The religious people infected with religious psychosis believe that there are two different things. That the mind is separate from the brain. Not so. This is, again, is very easily proven by operating the brain, neurology lab. But believe in God, because everybody is born, is created by a fuck, and then born with a blank brain. All proto-evolution. And the thing is that during the imprinting period, if you all of a sudden if you cannot grasp reality and you cannot tell the difference between fantasy and fiction, because fantasies and all these beliefs answer everything, and they induce dopamine, serotonin, and some other neurotransmitters that make you feel good. So, but if you cannot tell between fantasy and reality, then you do have a problem with the brain, especially if you're educated. Only the very, very young children and the extremely ignorant have an excuse. But people in this 21st century, they are educated and they start believing in the imaginary friends and all that. They are theotarded and they have a problem with the brains, just like schizophrenics. They're happy people. Not all of them are violent. Like not all religions are violent, but it causes tremendous violence. They're like time bombs waiting for a place to happen. Or accidents, psychopathy waiting for a place to happen. It's something that people, just like the HIV positive, that they have the virus, but it's dormant and they look very healthy, and you never know when they become, the disease becomes full-blown and they die. And they start losing weight and they get sick completely. They don't have the immune system and they perish. The same thing with people that are religious. And I will show you, I want to present all kind of clips proving my point. And nobody in the news and nobody mentions when people are really crazy and do all these crazy things, nobody questioned their mental health and nobody questioned their religion. What were the religious psychosis these people were brought up? What the beliefs of the family were when they were brought up. And of course, religious is organized as schizophrenia. The bizarre metamagical beliefs, in other words, the crazy shit, all these fantasies, in religion, they are the root of religious beliefs all over the world, are no different than the bizarre metamagical beliefs, all this crazy stuff in the brains of people with mental disorders like temporal lobe epilepsy, schizophrenia, dementia, and all those, and Alzheimer's. The same thing, no difference. So here are the samples. Enjoy. Typical schizophrenic. Cross-psychotic. See, and these programs never mention that all those thoughts are created in the brain and these bizarre beliefs are not different to those of schizophrenia. Nobody mentioned in these programs religious beliefs are schizophrenia beliefs. Nobody mentions it.
So why instead devise such a convoluted plan where Jesus, the reincarnation of God, sacrificed himself to appease himself for the punishment that God himself imposed on us in the first place?
Because the religious and the schizophrenic brain are one and the same. They accept bizarre metamagical beliefs as true, irrational concepts as true. Nothing makes sense in religion or schizophrenia. In a malfunctioning brain like schizophrenic temporal epilepsy or people under trauma that receive trauma,
Everything is a disconnect. The mythologies, any fantasy becomes reality. And this is exactly what's happening in religious beliefs. This psychosis induces sadomasochism, intolerance, pedophilia, deluded thinking, deranged, and definitely homophobia, as you can see here.
I'm here today to support a traditional marriage, one man and one woman.
Laura and I have been together for 28 years. We have two great...
And nobody questions the veracity of Christianity, or what the name means. Christus, an anointed Savior, the Jesus Christus from our queridos meguitos. Nobody mentions this. Everybody takes for granted all these 1700-year constant lies of the psychosis of Christianity. Nobody questions. Crucifixion never happened. It's not a form of torture. There's one scintilla of evidence in the cities of Pompeii, Quilano, and Oplontis, and all those. It's a Christianity invention. It's a distortion of the facts. No evidence in the archaeological record. Zero of crucifixion. Because again, the cross is a tropaeon. It represents the race of the sun god and all the images of the different gods. That's the fact of it. And of course, people that don't understand this, they don't know history and archaeology. They just take everything for granted what the Christ-psychotic infected people of the church would teach. Despicable. All the churches should be closed down. They're disgusting people.
Like this liar, Christ-psychosis infected imbecile, a hypocrite, corrupting the mind of people, stuck in the Middle Ages, a Theotard, and his son committed suicide. Now they blame it on mental illness. Blame it on to the parents, the psychotic Christian piece of shit parents. They are responsible.
And this is what I don't understand. This is Christ-psychotic infected imbecile, the pastor Rick Warren. His son committed suicide. And committed suicide yesterday was what, or today is today is the 7th of April of 2013. He committed suicide. But this pastor is a Christ-psychotic infected imbecile. Why would his son, oh, he's mentally ill? No, all Christians are mentally ill people because they believe in resurrecting somebody that's saved with blood. He doesn't understand that. People of faith are people of schizophrenia. They have a problem with the brain. There's no God. God is a creation of the brain, a malfunctioning brain. So the kid, the guy, you know, the son, he was probably homosexual. How much you want to bet that he was a homosexual? He was in the closet. He was have to keep that because the Christian infected imbeciles, they are racist, they are pedophiles, and they are homophobic, and they are imbeciles, and they are not committed. So therefore, he's raising a Christian family. What is he going to do? And it could be a Muslim family, same shit. So the guy is desperate. He has all these feelings. He likes guys. He has this feeling inside of what is he going to do? So like a lot of people that are bullied, they're homosexual, thanks to this piece of shit Christians, then he ended up killing himself. And I bet it's going to come out. But hey, Rick Warren, this Christ-psychotic infected imbeciles, psychotic that belong in a mental institution, corrupting the amount of people in church every Sunday, stuck in the Middle Ages, completely theotarded. Rejoice! Your son is in heaven. Why don't you go join him? What are you doing on this planet? If you believe in Jesus Christ, that is true, and you have eternal life, what the heck are you doing in this planet? Suffering disease and getting old and all that? Why don't you? It's a sinful planet. Why don't you go to Christ? Why don't you kill yourself? Join your son. And if everybody is a Christian, go and kill yourself, guys. Really be truly to your faith. If you believe in God, kill yourself. Go to Him. Rapture yourself. Or is it perhaps that you know there is no life after death? You like this life here, and the only life after death you get is bacteria eating your rotten remains and your Christianity psychosis infected brains, because they will rot. And that's a fact of it all. You'll rot. You'll only have one life. So Christians, Rick Warren, hypocrite, piece of shit, Christ-psychotic infected imbecile, be true to your faith. Join your son. Kill yourself. Hate these imbeciles with the head up their ass. You're a true Christian, create yourself. Prove it. Go up to Grand Canyon. Go like this, fly like an eagle. Enjoy it. Enjoy the truth. You'll rot. There is no God. It's a creation of malfunctioning brains. It happens in schizophrenia too, and all mental disorders. Brain operation proves it.
The same can be said from the people suffering from ancient alien psychosis. Like the Mormons suffer from that, the Urantians, von Däniken and all the morons that
Greek, Incan,
also...
Andean culture was very skilled at fashioning metals and creating metal alloys. In fact, the people who built Pumapunku were even pouring copper alloys into molds.
Well,
right on
psychosis
site.
impede these people from understanding science. So therefore they embrace all the myth of ancient aliens, and of course every myth, like the Bible, is considered true. They are
that you were never a Christian, you don't know what God's about, you need to know God in order to understand his words. And don't tell me that you know who I am, that I was never a Christian, because I was up until the age of 21.
This some beguile the schizophrenia of these imbeciles, make them accept all kind of myths like the myth of the Bible to be reality. And these are taught to children, that molested children in church every Sunday.
Would say here's Darwin's theory of evolution. It proves it without a shadow of a doubt.
I will tell you about that. They have done experiments with E. coli bacteria, and they have taken those E. coli and they have taken different containers of them and they froze them in time. So continue to evolve, and then they take this group and they freeze it, and then they take this group and they freeze it. No,
Okay, I'm just asking how to get there. I'm just trying to figure out how to get there. But go ahead. I mean, so they think that's what we're talking about on...
Oh, that's not what we're talking about.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'm just trying to find out.
Evolution.
Yeah, absolutely.
So these E. coli have...
And as you can see, many senators are cryptopsychotic. They have no idea about science. They have no idea what a bacteria is. They had no idea they were product of coitus, product of a fuck. And God is a psychosis, is a concept created by sick brains. A theotarded brain, or a stuck in the past, or a little kids believing all these fairy tales to be true. But they have an excuse for little children, 4- or 5-year-old children. But a senator, being so stupid and ignorant, and the stupid people in the United States, all cryptopsychotics, electing these imbeciles, put them in government. Disgusting. It's like going to mental hospitals and picking up these very intellectual schizophrenics and then put them to senators. The same thing. Or give him important jobs in public office. You'll see all the nuts running around. But nobody questions the religion of these people. No one. It's all Christianity, Christ psychosis.
Look at late-night Christian shows.
Now, Channel 10 runs this stuff at 4 in the morning, so they need something pretty full-on to get your attention. And I'll tell you what, the Lord certainly does provide.
Good morning, everybody. And we are blessed today.
Now,
keep in mind, the brain creates thought. The brain produces the belief in God. All kind of believing imaginary friends. The sky daddy. It is a fact. And also, schizophrenia, mental disorders. Also, they make the person believe in these imaginary friends to be reality. Exactly like in any religious faith.
Ryan admits to having sex with priests. John Becker, our friend John Becker, is reporting on this on his website, johnmbecker.com. And
this God-believing psychopaths not only suck the little pee-pee and molest the brains of children, but also cut their pee-pees too.
And of course, you know, Christ psychosis Christianity is the cause of racism, the cause of pedophilia, the cause of immorality, the cause of intolerance. And all this psychosis inflicted upon children by these crazy pastors and crazy people. They're psychopaths. They're psychopaths. People that do circumcision. Circumcision, it comes from this psychosis of God belief. It's a disorder. And then they commit fellatio on the children. And they kiss their pee-pees. They come from the Roman religion. But they did it, the gods, they were gods that didn't cut their pee-pees. Like the Jewish do. And this is allowed. That's where it comes from. All the psychosis in the United States come from this teaching of this Christian crap all over the place. And nobody sees that as a disorder. It's a psychopathy.
This is a Christ-psychosis infected so-called university founded by Falwell, psychopath, a Christian imbecile.
This is really cool.
The atheist's nightmare. Now, if you study a well-made banana, you'll find on the
This Christ-psychosis infected imbecile is trying to prove the existence of some big God with a banana. This is a psychosis.
far side, there are 3 grooves, on the close side, 2 grooves.
Are these people sane? Of course not. And they're not committed. They're psychopaths and nobody sees it.
Has perforations. Notice how...
Behold, the Christ-psychotic nightmare. This Christ-psychotic infected imbecile, closet cases, they love dick.
Snake, isn't it? It's long. He has an ending. Nice ending. Soft. It's good to introduce it on orifices. Just like snakes inside of caves. Comfort or Kirk, how were you created? Were you sapped into existence? You think like children, very infantile thinking. I'm pretty sure you read nothing but children's books, fairy tales books, right?
The problem is that since religion is the scene for the mental disorder it is, it's one of the schizophrenias actually, the pastors and rabbis and imams and all different religions are not, their mental health is never questioned. They can spew all the garbage, fairy tales, crazy stuff. They can say 2 + 2 = any number they think it is. They have to take it by faith. Any number except 4. And nobody questions it. And they allow them to do these nuts, to have churches and to infect the mind of children. Every time in churches and synagogues and all these places. It is absolutely disgusting. And then you allow these people to teach and have universities like Brigham Young and all the Adventist University and Notre Dame, this crappy university in which the fact is that these people believe in bizarre metamagical beliefs to be true. That's at the core of all religions, but it's also at the core of mental disorder like schizophrenia, and nobody says it, nobody sees it. All these people are brought in Christian homes or religious homes, and nobody. And then, of course, they commit all kind of crimes, and they never call them. They call the religion. It's because of your religion, because of your psychosis that you be brought up with. That's the reason you deprive your children from medical help, because you're a Scientologist. You infected the mind of children. The people commit suicide. Children commit suicide. You drown your children, and they never mention. This. The reason is because of the Christian psychosis, the psychosis of that belief that did it. This blew up in the mind. They became full blown in that, the delusions, and made them do these crazy psychopathies and crazy crimes.
And of course, faith is inversely proportional to knowledge and information. The more faith you have, the less science, the less understanding of facts. So therefore, the more stupid you are, the more ignorant you are. And that's the reason these people are, they believe the Bible is true, are theotard, they're stuck in the past, they have a problem with the brain. And there is no excuse to be this stupid. Let's be logical, let's be sane, let's listen to Dr. Ramachandran, a neuroscientist.
The vastness of interstellar space. It can contemplate the meaning of infinity, ask questions about the meaning of its own existence, about the nature of God. And this is truly the most amazing thing in the world. It's the greatest mystery confronting human beings. How does 100 billion neurons in the adult human brain, and each neuron makes something like 1,000 to 10,000 contacts with other neurons in the brain. And based on this, people have calculated that the number of permutations and combinations of brain activity exceeds the number of elementary particles in the universe. So how do you...
And only mentally healthy people, scientists of a millennia collective knowledge, in other words, atheists, have been able to gather information and reject the some bigger belief in God and all that crap, despite it being burned at the stake and being killed and all that, because the psychosis are in control. Look at this piece of shit woman, Christ-psychotic woman in Arizona. She's disgusting. She's from California, and she's brought up in a Christian home. She's a stupid, Christ-psychotic infected imbecile. And the kids are finally, young students are finally getting rid of this, fighting these stupid, demented, Christ-psychotic infected imbeciles in schools. And we cannot forget the Inquisitions. We cannot forget Christian Hitler. Hitler was a Christian. He developed Nazism. Church and state were one in Germany. And all this psychopathy, nobody sees it.
Charles Simonyi Professor of the Public Understanding of Science at Oxford, and I
write books, and run the Richard Dawkins Foundation for Reason and Science, both the British and American versions of that.
And the greatest problem are blind, mentally healthy, in other words, atheist intellectuals like Dawkins and many others. They never see religion as a mental illness, a delusion, psychopathy that it is. Never. They don't mention it. They ignore it for some reason. They don't see themselves, they don't realize that they are product of a fuck. And they should mention it. Be proud of it. But no, because they are being infected also with this Christian. They've been conditioned with this Christian for 1700 years, which have purity. You know, they have this immorality, this idea that sex is dirty and it's bad and all that. You don't talk about it. This is the problem. And atheists don't do it. Scientists don't do it. They don't talk about it. They never say coitus. They never say penis. They never say we did this. You know, they never mention that. They're proud of a fuck. They never mention it because it's Christian upbringing. And they might be atheists and mentally ill and all that, but they are right hiding in the back of their mind, and they're stupid and they don't realize, or ignorant, they don't realize that they think that the brain is the one that is creating thoughts. And they ought to be proud of it and mention it all the time, reminding these cryptopsychotic infected imbeciles of the facts, of science. You cannot have science with a healthy brain. You cannot understand it. You'll have all this religious psychosis bugging you all the time. They used to think seeing God all the time, the intelligent designer, every time you study science. So it creates a distortion of science. And this is not mentioned. This is, Dr. Krauss should mention it, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson and all the brilliant minds. Eugene Scott, the head of the science education and science, they actually should mention it. But see, again, believe in a resurrecting zombie that says with blood in this 21st century is no different than schizophrenia. Religion is organized as schizophrenia. It's synonymous. When you say a religious person, you can say a crazy person. It's the same thing. A mentally deficient person with cognition deficits, cognition dissonance, with a disconnect in the brain. People suffer from depression. They are religious. The same thing. Person with mental problems are a religious person. Of all kinds of religions. And God is an imaginary friend, a space alien, a schizophrenic disorder. And the moment you believe in anything, in religion, you brought up a Christian home, you start rejecting that and you start believing in ancient aliens. And you're believing in all kind of crap, like Urantia, like von Däniken, the Chariot of the Gods, this Zakaria Silskin, another cryptopsychotic infected imbecile from Russia. And these are all people that switch from the Christian crap into this, they see these delusions like the ancient aliens, visited, they built the pyramids, and guess what? There's also disorders like scintillating escotoma, which actually make you see auras and things like that. There's synesthesia. There's all kind of mental disorders that actually disturb your thoughts. Cognitive dissonance. But like Dr. Bogosian said, faith is pretending to know things that we don't know. And that's a total fact. It's a psychosis. That's what it is.
My father is Mexican American.
So you've got both Aztec and Mayan curses. I think you both ladies need to get your hands ready.
Get away from me! Get away from me! Get away!
Okay.
Get away from me!
Okay, I need...
And this Christian piece of shit, cryptopsychosis infected, he has a school for girls. He's not committed. All Christians should be committed. Look at this. Yeah, these Christian psychopaths get away with murder. They do anything they want.
Requires them to spank their kids with items like belts and rods in order to train them to be well-behaved, happy kids.
And the truth is, religious is organized as schizophrenia. For a mental disorder. It's a combination of the same mechanism of schizophrenia, temporal lobe epilepsy, and depression are all contained in this religious crap. Very dangerous.
Old Past Baptist Church. His name is Sam Morse. And he's going to go talk on audio here at the Straight Gate, they have this, about why we had a gun tragedy in the first place. He's got some unique ideas.
Give one good glory rip about the 4,000 that were removed violently from the wombs of their mothers the same day. Amen.
And these cryptopsychosis infected imbeciles are in government, they are senators, they are imbeciles, they corrupt the mind of children in churches. They are psychopaths. And they're getting away with murder. They control, they're all over the United States. The United States is a cryptopsychosis infected nation. Look at this. Arabs, Muslim psychotics, the same thing. Religion is a form of mental illness. is organized schizophrenia. They do all crazy stuff, and it happens in all religions. And they all suffer from these trances, from this psychosis. And in ancient times, they used to take drugs and entheogens, and they actually make them see these visions. So that's the reason they wrote all these sacred books.
Who's with the Black Hebrews. And he just pleaded guilty to killing a 4-year-old and a woman that he was living with. He killed the 4-year-old because he thought he was gay. We have a
and in the Christianity is a mental disorder. They're the ones that created all these gay things, this sin and crap like that.
Rusty just after she gave birth to their 5th child, Mary, last November. It was just 7 months before she would kill her baby daughter and her 4 sons.
5 children. And they say, oh, postpartum depression. No, they never mentioned the religion. The psychosis this woman was brought into. This one, I mean, I can provide hundreds and hundreds of examples of Christianity, the disgusting Christ psychosis. Even happens in Russia. Look at this. This idiot priest is a psychotic priest. He's blessing all these cups with water. These guys are psychotic. They're schizophrenics, and nobody sees it. This guy handles snakes. And all because of the stupid Bible. It's a stupid book of mythologies. Why don't they accept the Greek mythology as reality? They don't. They're just a stupid Bible. This Christ-psychotic, infected imbecile that read only one book and extremely ignorant and homophobic and intolerant.
Is there a controversy? That essentially I'm just picking a fight. But you'd be wrong. Religion can and does cause literal brain damage. And that damage can be difficult, if not impossible to repair, if not addressed.
Nobody seems to realize that all thoughts are created by the brain, and the bizarre metamagical beliefs, the delusions created by religions are also the same as created by schizophrenia.
We must keep in mind, like brilliant Dr. Bogosian of Portland State University said, defining faith. And when he said, what is faith? Faith is pretending to know things that we don't know. That is faith. And faith is created by the brain. And when you have doubt and you have these delusions that you think to be reality and you have faith, you have a psychosis, no different than schizophrenia. It's a schizotypy. Faith is pretending to know things that you know. People that believe in God, they have a problem with the brain. Only children and the very, very ignorant have an excuse. We have to remember that. We create all these delusions with the brain. And as long as we keep that in mind, if you don't accept these beliefs as true, and you can tell between fact and fiction, and you get yourself educated and you question everything, then you are sane. Your brain is functioning beautifully. Your fine-tuned brain, in other words, you're an atheist. Like and believe in bullshit. A without and theos, all that God crap. So if you don't have the God crap, you're sane. Opposed to the schizophrenic or Christ-psychotic people that believe in zombies that resurrect and say with blood. That's a fact. Keep that in mind. Keep your mind healthy, which means keep it being an atheist, mentally healthy. Pachydioro. Enjoy the truth. I only present the truth, only about facts, with the evidence to back them up. Pachydioro.